Great. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Canadian Off-Road 4x4 here today, and today we are doing an install on the truck with Kale. I'm gonna fucking hit you, man. I swear to God. Anyways, we're doing an install today on the aftermarket head unit. It is an Android T9 head unit. It is 8.1 inch or 9 inch aftermarket deck, and it is exactly this. Yeah, exactly. So this is the whole shebang. So there's no knobs on it or anything like that. It is a full plug and play replacement for the factory radios in here of the 7-inch displays. I mean, even I'm pretty sure the SR5s that come with a smaller screen could probably get this replacement too, because it's all the same dash piece, right? So so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this truck taken apart, unplug everything, and as far as I know, everything should be plug and play like I was told. So I was gifted to this by a friend. It's got every plug-in you can think of. The only thing that does not retain on this is the factory microphone, because they did not want to splice into that little one wire there, and it just sounds like it was too difficult to get involved in. So we're gonna go step by step, taking this apart, and we're gonna get to it. Okay, so first step, taking off the trim piece. As usual, go from the passenger side of it and just yank her off. I know, right? Oh, a little snug. And then I put that on top of the subwoofers. Perfect spot. And then, as usual, for 10 millimeter bolts. Yeah, so we'll just...
Wish I had my drill because it'd be faster. Yeah, really. I guess I can get Torquey. Torquey will work, right? Nope. That sounds dangerous. Torquey is dangerous. Torquey would break the bolt. That's fine. Like I said, this is all gonna just get fast work. So it doesn't matter.
Okay, and after you deal with that, you got to just pull the head unit out. Quite simple, obviously. It's just a fat head unit, that's the problem. And then what we're gonna do is disconnect everything. So just unplug everything you see in the back. That's pretty much it. You know, if I can, get it unplugged, that is. Because everything's kind of snug. Where's that plug-in? Oh, that's right. That one's on top. This one's for here. This one's here. It's been a while since I've... Wait, those three are together. I don't have to worry about that one. I have to worry about this one. I have to worry about this one that's being a pain in my butt. Come on.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yeah, I'm wiggling, man. She ain't wiggling today.
Do you want to pick?
No, I don't know. Like,
I can pick if I had a screwdriver.
You installed it too tight last time.
But I like it.
Ow! You suck! Can't say that on national TV. Where's this one? This one's... Come on. Come on. Whoa, Black Betty. Little prong. That's, yeah, that's the black one. And this one's all the same here. Okay, so now that you got the... Ow, man, I got hurt. Son of a... Like, seriously, look at that. I got a little red boo-boo. That hurt. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Ow. Okay. And then that's all of our catastrophe in there. Okay, so now we're gonna go over to the table and kind of compare sizes, because that's what everyone likes to do. Okay, so here's the comparison side by side. It's definitely got a way bigger screen for sure. I mean, like, it's more filled, and I mean, it's not so scratched up like mine is. It definitely looks a lot prettier. Keep the film on it, obviously. So here is the whole shebang. So, I mean, there's no instructions with these, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you can't plug it in, you got problems. So, I mean, this just plugs into that doohickey. You plug in some doohickeys and you're done. So then you got another doohickey. Man, I don't even know what half this is, but that's why I've got Kale here, because he does this stuff. But he used to do this stuff until he got fired because he sucks at it. This is USB, so it's a plug-in for USB to USB. I don't know exactly what everything is entitled to, but we'll just kind of go with it. Kale, do you have any insights on what any of this is? Because I looked at it and I have no clue.
This is for USB to plug in whatever you want, USB products. GPS antenna.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Some type of adapter, I don't know what's for. This is for CAN bus.
Yeah.
One harness is for a CAN bus system, the other harness is for a non-CAN bus system.
Yeah.
And this is just an extension wire for...
Is that auxiliary stuff?
Yeah, something with auxiliary
antenna.
Wireless antenna.
Yeah. It's got its own antenna and
or
everything.
That's for a Wi-Fi antenna.
Yeah.
That's what you compare with your
Oh, let's put it in the water. That's good for it.
It's always good for it. That's lovely stuff.
So, yeah, so on this, we've got right channel output, lift channel output, yes. Subwoofer output, yeah. Obviously, we know I got some subwoofers. Right line, lift line, video output. Those two video outputs, or three video outputs. There's multiple ones for front and backup cameras and whatever other cameras. You got review input, radio antenna socket, GPS antenna interface, Wi-Fi antenna interface, and all that. I believe somewhere on this there is something with an SD card output or something like that you can do with these. Maybe not, unless it's something maybe extra you have to do on these. I'm not 100% sure. And then you got USB 0 and 1, grounding, all that. And then on here, so this all retains your factory steering wheel controls as well. So as soon as I plug everything in, everything's going to be the same as it was. It's just I don't have a volume knob. Obviously, I just got buttons. And then I've got pretty much everything you can think of in regards to when it comes to like aftermarket radios. So I'll just kind of give you guys a little background of what happens here. So it supports the hands-free, as always, you know, most are Bluetooth. It's got a built-in microphone in the control panel. It's got for wattage output for you guys, just so you have an idea, is 4 times 45 watts. I am literally reading this for site, just so you guys have a good idea. I will provide the link in the description so you have an idea. USB SD slot maximum compatibility. Support USB flash drive and micro SD card up to 64 gigs. It has a external hard drive with up to 500 gigabytes storage. Uses most Android apps. Holy mother of God, that guy's booking it. There's password for settings. 50 different languages. It has brightness adjustment, FM, subwoofer output. There's not a video out, but there's video in. DVR, OBD2, Wi-Fi, built-in Wi-Fi dongle. GPS, better GPS triangulation, or yeah, I can't pronounce words today. When no service. Support factory steering wheel control, as I said. Reverse camera support. Instant review camera, 0 to 1000 ms. It also has built-in CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless and wired. For Android Auto, it says connect Android mobile phone to head unit by USB cable. Support voice commands to make phone calls, use maps, listen to music, read or send messages. So it's not hands-free Android Auto like maybe some of the others, but it has USB cable. And I think that's what Kale's going to go run right now, is a USB cable. Hey? You just plugging random stuff in? What is that for? What's the USB for?
This is an adapter. What it looks like
Is that for the USB cable then?
It looks like this is for the adapter to retain your factory USB.
Oh yeah, because it does use the factory USB. He says.
Yeah.
He said that in the comments there.
There's
So
for adapters for that, so you can reuse.
yeah, so it uses that like factory. So everything is practically like factory. There's nothing.
I'm just worried about your reverse camera right now.
Nothing to be worried about from what I've seen. Everything's all it's somewhere in all that doohickey there too.
Okay.
I can't remember which plugin it is, but everything as far as I've read and seen in pictures, everything is the same as when you plug it in. You just got to plug everything in correctly. So
I'm
worried
about these brackets.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how this is going to sit too much yet, so we're going to find out exactly and see what we can make of it. We'll fiddle around with it probably right now to see if we can get it to fit nicely. And once we get that figured out, or when we start plugging stuff in, then we will get back to you guys here. So give us a second. Okay guys, so we were tinkering around here with the factory brackets. We had to notch this out a little bit here to kind of make the bracket a little more sturdy. It doesn't quite sit right. You will see that when we have it all finished. We were kind of going back and forth with it just to see if we can make it fit better. But apparently I'm supposed to have some brackets here, which I do not have. So I messaged the guy that sells this and he'll get back to me as soon as he can. So we got the GPS and Wi-Fi antenna all plugged in. I've got everything else kind of plugged in here. So now we just gotta slam it into the truck and see if it blows up. Okay, well, let's see what we got here. So I got the black plug here that goes into this one here. I just connected it to one of the two USB cables that, you know, plugs on the back here with the white connector on it. So, I mean, it didn't show anything specific, so plug and play on that. So that's done there. I don't know exactly what each harness is on this, but we'll figure that out as we go. So we have all these in here. So let's just kind of move stuff around here. I've got all these little ones. I've got this one here. I'm gonna say that this goes into here. No, okay. That one goes into there. There we go. There. Kale's kind of guiding me as I do this, but I'm learning. That goes like this. Locked in. That one. That I don't think we use, eh?
No, that's serious.
That's serious? How do you know that's serious? By looking at it.
You can tell.
This is serious.
You can tell by the plug style what it looks like inside.
Oh. So this doesn't retain Sirius, or it's just gonna have its own Sirius? I'm gonna guess.
It won't retain it.
Really? Unless we're going crazy. I mean, there's nothing on the back here, so.
But the cool thing is, if you did do something with Sirius, you can take this plug off and actually plug this into a module, the Sirius module, if you put an aftermarket deck in.
Gotcha.
And you can retain that way.
So we got one done. So now I got these three suckers here. Chinese lettering. These are 3 wires I just hashed up, taped up. Okay, so I want the big plug, which is not that one. I want this one because this one's got more prongs. So that one looks like it matches more. Maybe put it the right way, Corey, and it wouldn't have a problem. No, that one doesn't work. Which one am I looking for here? This one. Yeah,
that's
this
your
one.
main plug.
Yeah.
What?
No, not that one.
These are your main plugs.
So I'm only using those two? What's that one? Kale.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, we're screwed. Okay. Well, that one plugs in, so that's a plus. That one plugs in. But this one doesn't plug in. Hold on here. We'll figure this one out. Okay guys, so we couldn't figure out the other plug-in. It doesn't seem to want to do anything on it. It worked on the CAN bus harness, but for this other harness that is just the basic harness without CAN bus or whatever, it doesn't seem to plug into anything. So we're gonna see what happens here with everything set up as it is. I've got no steering wheel controls though, I don't think. So, because here's the audio control. I got no steering wheel controls then. Okay, let me just look through this.
Maybe there's a setting for it on these decks.
No, there's no settings. It's all plug and play for this.
Like being off and on.
No, there isn't. It's all plug and play. There's nothing that I have to do for this.
So you know, if the other Androids, you gotta turn it on.
Music. So I've got my factory USB at least. Everything seems to be in there. It's all touch screen or whatever. So it's got playlist. It's got the USB there. My speakers are off obviously right now due to the fact that I have it on the rocker switch. But I've got everything here, and I mean, I might have to adjust this or whatever, but so I mean, everything seems to be working except for, yeah, my steering wheel controls that don't seem to work at all. So we will have to try the other harness and see what that does. And I've got no reverse camera. Okay, so we're gonna switch harnesses and see what that does for this. Okay, take number 2. The old harness is out. This is the first harness. It's pretty basic. I'm not too sure why there is 2 in the first place if one's not gonna work. I mean, mine doesn't have a JBL package or anything. So we're gonna see if this all works now. So I didn't have steering wheel controls, and I didn't even have my backup camera. So I'm guessing then I have to use this whole CAN bus harness here, and everything plugged in now. So, and I got I also plugged in the one RCA, the yellow one, for a rear output. So we're gonna see if the reverse camera comes on after I load all this up. So yada yada. Foot on the brake, Kale. Okay. Still don't have reverse camera. Steering wheel controls. I still don't have steering wheel controls. Let's go. This is the menu, I'm gonna say. Steering wheel. Okay. I'm not too sure what this means by steering wheel. Settings. Okay, so I'm gonna tinker with this for a minute, and I will get back to you guys right away here. Hold on. Okay guys, so we were messing around with this as you saw, and at the moment I do not have reverse backup camera. I don't even have options for it to activate it or anything like that. I was comparing it to another friend's down in Georgia. He's got the 9.0 and I have this old 8.1. I'm not too sure how different it is, but apparently there's some different settings and layouts of how this all works. The fitment I can't get 100% due to my factory brackets. I'll see what he has to say about that. It fits pretty good, but it's sitting too far back and not out enough, and not sitting flush with like the old one was. I also don't have steering wheel controls, and everything is plugged in the same. So I did switch out the harnesses, but I still don't have either of those functions. And I'm not too sure why, because everything is plugged in as it should be. We have the yellow one in the rear view output. I tried even all the other outputs, and the other buddy said that even if you put it in reverse, there should be some sort of signal that puts in, even if it doesn't display the backup camera, it should change screens, but it doesn't. So I don't know what's going on. I did a factory reset as well. Didn't seem to want to do anything. So at the moment, I've got my factory sitting in the box here, and I've just got the deck sitting in like this. So I mean, I have something to play music, and I'm gonna wait for a response on what the guy says about this. One guy thinks I should just get the updated model, but I'm not. I mean, I was gifted this, so I'm doing this for a friend and also for the guy that sells these. But we will see what he says tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So, I mean, hopefully you guys see this kind of done. If not, we'll just have to wait until I get a new one or something like that when it comes around to that. So, I mean, we've already spent It was 6 o'clock when we just started, and it's now almost 10 o'clock at night because we were screwing around for that long. I was trying to get the backup camera to work and whatnot. So, well, we're going to call it a night, and I'm going to go home and eat. So we will see you guys next time. Okay, guys, so we have finally fixed my stupid hiccup. You will not believe what happened, but so we unplugged everything, right? And I had a brain fart, and I remember Kale was in here digging around or whatever, and he pulled out some cords, and I think he moved a couple on the bottom. So I missed a harness from factory. So that one plug that I thought was for like the JBL systems or whatever, because that's what I thought. That's why I never thought of another harness. Well, after I put in my factory the day after, because I couldn't play this thing anymore, I was sick of it not having my backup camera and steering wheel controls, I put the factory back in. Turned on factory, put it in reverse, nothing. Steering wheel controls, nothing. So I was like, shit. So I took it out, started digging in behind, and then what do you know, right down probably behind the climate controls, oh, I pulled out the main harness that I needed. So then I grabbed the other plug that I never plugged in originally, and I found out that those are the two that clicked. God damn it, Kill. He's dancing for me. So that clicked in, and we're like, oh shit. So I put the deck in like right away. Well, I didn't put it in right away because of the fact that it was pretty much my lunchtime was over, so I had to get back to work. So I had a friend help out from work, and he installed it for me, and just saved me some time. He had nothing left to do at work, so he decided to help me out on the truck again. He's also the one that installed my suspension lift and did a lot of other work for me. So here is the finished product. Believe it or not, he actually made the factory brackets work with this too. There is literally, like, I mean, it may not be 100%, but in my opinion, that is pretty good. So what I have to do now is take this apart and put the two screws in, but I also have to take this out so I can show you what he did for the brackets. We did it how we did it before, whatever. We used the one factory hole and just drilled out the one hole that we could get the best instead of drilling. He took it and moved it back. He put it on another factory hole and then drilled one hole for another one, and this is my results. So give me 2 seconds to pull this all apart, and we will see what he did. Okay, guys, so here it is. It took no time at all. It's kind of awkward holding this, so just bear with me for 2 seconds. Oh, I almost dropped my life. Okay, so it looks like, so there was our first hole that we had. That is the new hole he drilled. So we used that factory hole there that you see, and it looks like he drilled a new hole for that, and we used that hole on the top is my guess. It is sitting a little crooked, not a huge deal, I don't care. But just so you guys know, if you look under this, so the way that you can justify your factories with this is there's going to be a hole that's supposed to match up with this hole right there above that screw. That's probably this hole to that hole. So that's kind of how you can guess. And then obviously this hole in the back is overlapping this kind of, and this seems to be sitting pretty much flush with the factoriness of it. So, and that's the left side, so the driver's side. Bear with me here. And then here is the passenger side. I'm holding it here nicely so you guys can see the reference. So like I said, same thing. This one has the factory hole, and then he drilled a new hole there beside it, and there was the old one we had there from what we did, and there's the one on the top left. So that is pretty much how he did it. In my opinion, I could care less about a factory drill hole. I mean, my believe it or not, my front door speakers and all that are held in with wood screws. We used the factory brackets. We ripped apart the factory speakers, and we used wood screws to hold the speakers in, and then put it back on the brackets and use the factory harness. So I mean, it's nothing normal around here for us. So I'm gonna clean this all up, and then I will show you guys the whole deck system of how everything works and how I'm liking it so far. I have some questions about it, and I'm somewhat in debate of it right now, but it is otherwise a pretty awesome unit. So give me a few minutes and we will start showing you how this thing works. Okay guys, so everything's back together. I hope that video part of the brackets helps a lot of you out. I did have a lot of people on my Facebook group on 3GT ask me about the brackets, because a lot of people were surprised of how clean it sits. I mean, I have another buddy that has this and he's waiting on brackets. So, but I guess, you know, we go above and beyond over here and we try and make it work with factory, because, well, I'm cheap as shit though too. So, plus I'm Canadian, so everything costs a little bit more, right? Like this deck, this Android tablet, I should call it, is $350 US. Obviously, the link's in the description below. $350 US plus shipping and all that, yada yada yada. I mean, after currency exchange, I'm probably like $500-600, right? I mean, that's not horrible for something like this, but same time, it is a Chinese Android tablet car audio deck, whatever you want to call it, right? So here we go. So this is my main screen right now. I changed it with one of my pictures on my USB. This is my 64 gig Lexar. It's been converted on the computer to FAT32, because otherwise on factory it wouldn't read it. So keep that in mind for any USB music you have. If it doesn't read it, it's because your USB platform or your format is not correct. It's usually either different from NTFS, or it is it's running just a higher model kind of thing. It's just too advanced for what it is. So, and also here there's two cables running in the back of it. One goes into one of the plugins. I can't remember what that one is. Maybe it is for this. I'm not too sure. But then we ran the other one here because this is a blank switch here on the access cabs. And I took this out to be kind of ready for a switch. And I mean, in the end, I guess this worked out pretty nicely for this. So I've just got my USB cable hooked up to there. And it actually uses as a phone charger too. It actually can charge my phone pretty decently too. At like 60%, it said like an hour to charge. So I mean, it's like you know, your average charging. So to start off, this is how it is. You have like everyone might be different, but mine had a widget for music, which I gotta probably put on here. This is the 5 main buttons here. So you got your you know, your menu or whatever in the back. This is your radio. Obviously I don't have anything playing because I have my speakers on the rocker switch. Here is my GPS, or navigation, I guess you can say. There is a way to default it, so you can I am happy. I'm just gonna skip that. So here is this is offline maps right now. This is what I'm using. So I mean, it's pretty accurate. I mean, I can literally drive with this and I've got everything, and it's up to date. Obviously I got everything here. So that's that. So exit. Up at the top here, before I get off into the main menu there, so up to the top here you got your like options little button, and it comes up with your wallpaper, manage apps, and system settings. This is just this is kind of like the background bar, you know, what's running in the background. So you scroll down like anything else. Got Google here, and this, whenever you has a USB connected, I guess this stays on the entire time. Top left here you got your date. You got to set your time zone and all that, yada yada yada. Bluetooth signals up on the top right here. If you don't see two dots on either side, it is not connected. So back button on the top left, home button in the middle there. No knobs or anything. You got a reset button up here. You got your microphone down here, which is actually pretty good, by the way. I do not have the external hooked in, and I've been on a few phone calls and people talk to me like it's like normal kind of thing. Volume up and down. I mean, I use this, obviously, my steering wheel controls. My max volume is about 22. Back button, home button, power button, or it's actually a kind of a mute button too. What I do notice, there is no like really pause or play kind of thing for it. Like it's it'll just be mute, so it won't pause your song. So if you like forget to like unmute like this, it's not gonna pause your song or whatever you're doing. It's just playing in the background but no sound. So for that though, so for my mute button here is on the navigation, or the it's on the talk mode for some reason, and if I hold it, it just does that. So I mean, I hold it down, it does that. So there's nothing to it. For mode, I've got Navi, music, video, phone. So it's like your quick select kind of thing. So I mean, if I want my music right away, or my navigation, I just go there, or music. But the thing is, once you hit it, there's no like canceling it. And the problem I have with going through that mode is because I personally hate the factory music that it comes with. The factory music app, which is on the bottom right here, it is garbage in my opinion for what I think. Because, so I'll show you this before I get really into depth of it, because I'm kind of giving you guys a little review on it as I've used it for the couple days here. So you got playlist, which is the album of it. You go to USB here. So say, let's just scroll down, right? You know, let's go all the way to the bottom here. This is the oh sorry, no, I hit Behemoth there. Scroll. So we're in the S's here, right? So I got a new folder, and it's reading every folder I have in my USB. It's not reading just in albums or just artists, whatever. It's reading like every single folder, whatever it may be. Mostly it's album, but I can't seem to change it. So, you know, you click on Skillet, right? Then you're like, okay, so you're in the album or whatever, but the thing is, though, Skillet is showing all of this. So it's like, okay, I don't want Skillet, actually. I want to go back and maybe go to Slipknot. So you click the back button here. Or, sorry, not that back button. It wouldn't have been that back button. So, sorry, let's try this again. Okay, let's say Stone Sour, right? Oh, no, I don't want Stone Sour. I want Slipknot. Okay. Oh, look, I'm back at the top again. Oh, here, let me just scroll again. Yep, okay. Oh, no, I over messed it. Oh, look, there's a car. Boom, crash, dead. Life is over. So, yeah, that is my one complaint about that. You got repeat, next. There's your pause button, I guess. But like I said, I kind of like having a pause button on like I did factory. And then you hold it down like this, and there's your mute button. You got your home button there. I mean, you got repeated buttons on pretty much everywhere. I mean, I don't see why they would want to put a home button there or the back button when you've got everything there, right? So and here is your Bluetooth or your phone call kind of thing here. So if your phone is not connected, you won't have anything else but this menu. If you don't see this blue dot, you're not connected. Quite easy to hook up Bluetooth and everything. You just gotta know the password, and to know the password, you go to your settings and you go to pin 000. Now you know my pin. I mean, you all probably have the same. So there's your Bluetooth. Bluetooth works 100% good. I mean, the volume, I never played with the volume yet. I think it's the same as would be for music. So in the menu, you got APK installer. I had downloaded auto Android, doesn't seem to do much. Bluetooth, boot animation, don't know what it is. You got your calculator. You got car settings here, right? Car settings, there's not much in here. I mean, it is pretty much similar to the vehicle options in the factory deck. So I mean, you got camera track here, you got your light settings, daytime running lights, all that yada yada yada. You got your lock settings, and everything is still the same as I had it from the factory. So I mean, because it's all part of the plugins, right? So it's all the memories there. So that is all the same there. So I didn't have to touch any of that. And then you got car settings. I don't understand any of these. I don't know what they are. It's something about the air conditioning, so whatever. You got your tire pressure here, but obviously we don't need it. I think it's got it all there, and it's reading the exact same, 33, 31, 32, 31. So I mean, I don't care for it because I mean, I got it on the truck, right? So you hit the back button, you got car settings, and then these 18 Toyotas, I don't know what these are either, like I said. Language, trip B, reset timing. Like you can reset the trip B apparently. Interior light dimming, remote control to unlock, all this stuff here. So that is that car settings. I don't know why there's like 2 different car settings, but there is. Easy Connect, it is the way to mirror your phone or use your phone as you want. I tried the Wi-Fi, it works, but you can't use the tablet on it, so you can mirror your phone on here. But I mean, I don't see why you would really want to mirror your phone yet. I haven't thought of it, because this is basically a bigger phone than your phone, and I mean, you won't get a ticket for it either. So, and then you got Android USB, which is what you want to use to mirror your phone. So I mean, I just tried it and my phone was only working with the 4 buttons that it comes with. I don't know if it's supposed to mirror the whole phone and you do what you want and like whatever, but it didn't do that for me. So I will play with that more and see if I can figure that out. Got your Chrome. I downloaded a couple things already. I downloaded a GoPro app that I'm gonna try here later. This is a GPS test thing that it comes with. Pretty cool actually, because it can tell you pretty much everything. I mean, you click here, it'll tell you where you are, but at the same time, you can't zoom in or anything, but tells you the time, tells you your coordinates even. So, I mean, if you need to tell someone your coordinates, you got this right here. Boom, you're golden. Oops, go back in here. I see that's some things I'm just not used to here. Oh, I think I just messed up here. Uh-oh. Corey overloaded it. Cut the video! No one can see this! Okay, let's do this. Off. On. See? Okay, so I'm not crazy. That is actually putting it to sleep. So if I hold this, it doesn't do anything. But if I hold it again, it just brings it back up to normal. Okay, well, this is interesting. I've never done that before. I locked it up. So, turn it off. Kill the power. This is really awkward. I mean, I'm wasting fuel economy here, but whatever. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Awkward. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, we're good. Sorry, guys. That was awkward. Yeah, just, I guess, be careful when you do this shit. I mean, what's nice is that everything stays kind of loaded. But let's just try this again. I guess I just kind of overloaded it or something like that, or glitched out the thing. My brother did this. Yeah, there's this. So you got heading, so you got your speed, altitude, which is reading 1956 feet. From what I could tell, this is gonna get a GPS speed, so this is what's gonna be accurate. What's nice is that you guys can actually see this on the GoPro a lot clearer than I can, because in my eyes, like, it's kind of tripping my eyes, like it's such a big texture. But yeah, so like as far as I can see, if you guys got bigger tires, you're golden. This thing will tell you everything. What else did it tell me here? We got time here. So this is really cool. You got the date, you got the UTC time, you got local date, local time, then you got your sunrise and sunset on the bottom, which is cool. So I mean, my sunrise is 6:40, which sounds about right, and sunset is at 7:04, which is pretty much accurate. So that's cool. So that's the GPS that comes with it from factory. Back into here, downloaded Google Maps. That's the factory music. I downloaded a music player because that's what I'm kind of playing with. Offline maps. You just basically gotta download the maps you want, and in my opinion, I guess that might be the way to go. I might see if I can figure something else out later. Otherwise, it's kind of whatever. You got your play music that I downloaded. You got your Play Store. Quick pick is what I used to make a quick pick onto the background. You get your radio recorder of some sort. I don't know, is it gonna record like porn or something in here? Steering wheel controls. This I do not understand at all. I'm not gonna even bother showing you, but I mean, there's a start button and everything just turns yellow, and I don't know what to do because I've hit buttons and nothing changes. I'll figure it out more as I go. You got your TV, you got your video, so those are different outputs. Also, like I said, when you scroll through whatever the options, there's auxiliary. What I did notice though is that audio is cut out right now from when you hit reverse. So you got to go to sound, reverse mute, and close means off, and from what I can understand. So I finally got that. Speed compensated volume control. I mean, that's pretty much like when you get up to speed, it turns it down. Navigation volume, device ringtone, sound priority. So I got all that done. I just found that just now. I mean, I didn't exactly know how. So in here you got your network, you got your data if you figure out a way to set that up. All your apps and stuff, so like just like anything else. I'm trying to figure out how to make certain music apps default instead of that music one, because that music one on the bottom right, like on the main screen or whatever, is going to the factory. So I'm trying to figure out how it can overlap that, but I couldn't seem to change that like I did with the navigation, because the navigation was set with that GPS test, and then you can change that in I'll just say this now before I forget. You go to app level permissions. Nope, sorry, not that one. That's just for the location. Not there. Sorry, that's just location stuff. Would be under car settings, I think. Navigation application. So you can select your navigation application. You just click on that, and then it will have it on the GPS test on the bottom right with the arrow. So then you pick the one you want, offline maps, good to go. That's it there. So, and then like I said, it's 32 gigs free, but then since I have my USB in here, it actually acts as a storage. So I might throw some stuff on there actually, since I don't really plan on adding a lot more music. So I've got like 30 gigs left on that. Your storage there, I'm using 5 gigs. Taco Time has 28 gigs used, 64 gigs is free. You got your memory used, you got your location as always there, you got your user account. So in the car settings is kind of where you can play with stuff. So you got your brake settings here. I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of getting uncomfortable sitting in here. You got reverse trajectory, line ruler, so stuff that you can do if you had maybe a different camera or whatever. Steering wheel, same thing as on there. There's your navigation application. Memory start navigation, I'm not too sure on that. It's just an option there. Speak recognition software. I guess you have to download one, is my guess, because that's what I do not have at the moment, is speak recognition. That's what it is. Shutdown delay, mine is no delay at all. There's an MCU update. I've done this multiple times and it doesn't do anything. I've done system update and system update doesn't click anything. There's reset factory. Extra settings. So for extra settings, simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you get into resolution here. Please do not change the resolution or it will not work properly. So it's 1024 by 600 as the screen says on the website. You got panel keys. I don't know what exactly this is. Like so like it's got reserve here, but like nothing is working. So it says start here, right? So I click that, like end. Like I don't exactly understand it. So I'm just gonna fiddle with that later again. So you got TV mode, so you can select it, analog or digital, I guess. Select radio region, panel lighting system or settings. There's all this kind of stuff. Panel light color. I haven't tried this yet. Panel light color. Is that this? Let's see. So I got blue and red. Let's see. I don't know what panel light color is. Got me fooled. Fan start temperature. It's just open. I guess that means it's open all the time. Force USB 1.1. You got key update. You got APK update. I don't know what all this is. You got knobs direction. I'm not too sure on the knobs, unless that maybe in, like, because there is no knobs, so I don't know exactly what that is all entitled to. Extension SD modes, radio antenna power, reverse mirror. So at first I had this open, so it's gonna flip it. You know, the view or whatever is gonna be backwards for you compared to what you usually see. So if you got that, that's the reverse mirror in the extra settings. Excuse me. You got disable door. I don't know what that is. Disable radar, reverse line ruler. You got float video, amp volume. I have that at 0 because I'm not messing with amp volume. That'll just screw up everything more. Disable reverse video, left right rudder, swap steering last and next key. I have no idea what all this is. You got app memory here, navigation sound detection, high definition selection, auxiliary selection. So you got a bunch of stuff here, right? Door info, configure info. I don't know any of that. Door info, switch. I have no idea what any of that is. Model choose, logo setting. That's what pops up in the beginning. I don't know any of that, so I'm not gonna bother. And then you got export all settings to your UDisc or external SD card. So that's all there is pretty much for the settings. You got system here. Mine's a T8 tablet, 8.1 TCU. The MCU is 8.3. The system version is 9.3. I don't know if I can do updates or not on these things. I can't seem to figure out anything yet, so we'll see. Got your Google services and all that. Android Auto, whatever else in there, right? So, I mean, for the most part, like I said, I've liked this deck, but then there's just a few hiccups I'm having. The biggest thing I'm just trying to do is change the habits, obviously, right? Because what I usually do is I usually hit the knob to turn off my radio, so like nothing plays at all instead of just turning the volume down. Then I turn off my speakers because I have it on a rocker switch for my audio control. So I really, like, there's not much else I can show you guys in regards to this thing. Like, it's kind of a good rundown, so people that don't have this, you know, you get an idea of what you're gonna get. That's why I kind of took the time to go through all this with you guys. I didn't feel like just showing you what there was in 2 seconds and then calling it a day, because then I'm gonna get asked a million questions. Oh, does it have this? Does it have that? Like I said, Android Auto, I'm not too familiar with Android Auto, so I can't say too much in regards to it. But it will work. I mean, if you understand it more, maybe it'll work better for you. I mean, I've heard some guys have no problems at all. I can't say much for it. I never showed you the equalizer here, so this is kind of cool. So you got 60 to 120 hertz. Just remember though, if you ever play with this stuff, do it only on one side and not both. Do not play with frequencies on both ends. So if you're gonna do it all, you do it through the deck or the tablet in this case, or you do it through your amps or whatever. Do not mess with two different things because you'll screw everything up. Right now it is not hooked up in the back with the RCAs. We don't know exactly for sure if this is going to support what I have, which is a 2-channel amplifier for the subwoofers. Excuse me. Then I have a 4-channel for the speakers. So, and what I saw in the back was right and left channel outputs. Then the other two was right line and left line. So, but they're both red and white, so I'm thinking that's the 4-channel, and they just didn't, you know, finish the texture. Then the only problem is, though, you gotta remember this: if you have a sub or you want to put a sub in this thing, you have to get the 2-to-1 adapter. So if you're like me or whatever, unless you have just one RCA for the whole thing, you gotta run the 2 from the amp all the way through, get an adapter for the end that puts it from 2 RCAs to 1. Simple, but it's just something to be aware of, and then you'll be good to go on that. So you got the 5 different things. There's not much for audio, like tinkering. Like, there's no setting up the car or anything like that like some other decks. You got zone, so you got your subwoofer addition here, and then you got your balance here, which is all just touch screen. So you just turn it wherever you want, and there you go, and then you got your balance there, doom, done. So it does put out a lot more power for sure, because how I tuned mine before, max volume was around 52. This is about like 22 to 25 that I found. When I first plugged this all in, my rear speakers were blaring. Like, I'm talking, like, if I played 20 on this or 22, they were distorting. So I had to turn them down to match with the fronts because I couldn't even hear the fronts. I thought there was something wrong with them, but it just turns out the rear speakers were just powered too much. The subwoofers are totally butched. I have to completely retune, obviously, which is a given for when you switch decks, but I just can't believe how much the sound has changed. It is definitely a lot clearer, but like I said, I'm still running the audio controls, so I'm running power through more power and then more power. So I've got 3 power outputs basically for my speakers and subs right now. So that's going to get changed, but I'm not going to get longer RCAs to run from down here and all the way underneath my passenger seat. Unless I really like this thing, because I'm not spending money on this thing if I don't really want it, right? So I'm giving it some time. I'll show you the music player I'm using. It's just a standard music player. I found this one to be the best so far. I downloaded another one that was like Akfura or something like that. Excuse me, my throat's drying up. And the problem that I didn't like, it was a nice setup, good layout, but the problem was when you clicked your artist, it brought up all the songs. It didn't organize it in albums like this did. So, you know, if I click All That Remains with 9 albums, all of them are on the top here, which is kind of cool. And I mean, I've got all the pictures there, so that's pretty cool. I just have to go through some of the songs or albums and like organize it all here, because, you know, I got bass songs here and then they're all in here, but I mean, they're all alphabetized now, so I mean, I just got to get used to that, because the factory deck was organized to whatever order that was in, right? But everything on this seems to be pretty good. I just got to figure out like voice recognition software and stuff like that on here, or download one or whatever I have to do here. But otherwise, you know, you got the letters on here, so like it's easy to get through everything. Just got to get used to being a little more precise, because, you know, I had the dials here, so, and everything was so quick, right? You know, it's just whatever, you know, I had to click this or whatever, and then I just turned the dial, and I was just, you know, second nature. But I mean, I think with this, I might get used to it pretty well. So that is the deck, or the Android tablet for these trucks. I was gifted to it by Matt Jolly himself from 3rd Gen Tacoma. He gave it to me as a gift for, basically, he thought, in my opinion, I guess he thought I'd put it to better use than him, because he never had time to install it. He's had it for, I think, a couple months, so he thought I'd do better off with it. And, you know, I'm into this YouTube and stuff like that, so he thought it'd be pretty cool for me to do a whole video and show everyone what this thing's all about. So, because I got too much free time on my hands. So that's pretty much all I've got for you guys on this. Like I said, you know, scroll down, you got Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is only 2.4 gigahertz. I found this out from Mark, because I tested it out on the hotspot with 5 hertz or whatever, 5 gigahertz. It doesn't detect it, so it's only 2.4. Otherwise, that's pretty much the gist of it. I mean, like I said, it's endless. It's an Android. You download what you want. You put on here what you want. You can convert just about anything. I'm going to figure out more in the GPS stuff and see what I can figure out, but it does not have its own navigation or anything. So I'm going to fiddle with that and see what I can come up with that, and see if I can figure out steering wheel controls and stuff. Otherwise, I mean, you can either get nearby Wi-Fi or get a hotspot. I mean, if you got Wi-Fi through your phone, you might be able to hotspot it through the phone. Well, actually, no, sorry. Hotspot is through your data, so you can't use that. I mean, if you got a good garage and you got good Wi-Fi, you're laughing, I guess. So otherwise, you got to use hotspot. Kale, stop laughing at me, you douche. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Say bye. Bye. That is the end of the video, guys. I'll see you later.